Hi everyone, this is Daisy. Back with another tutorial for drawing fundamental 1. It's an action pose, it's a ninja scroll. So that should make for an interesting kind of a drawing, and then coloring. We're going to use pencil, ink and markers for this one. The drawing first. So the warrior's taken out his sword and plans to attack. So in one hand you have the cover of his sword, the second you have the sword itself. So the first thing that I do is I put in the most prominent thing. My whole picture would be in this much of an area, if you can see it. And I'm going to start from the corner here, this corner, and I'm going to make 3 lines that radiate from here. First one will finish at this point, second right there, and the third right here. So let's start with the middle one. One. Then you're going to create a partial letter V right here, and this will go on to connect to the other 2 points right there. This is your actual sword, and the sword is, you're going to create the hilt that it's attached to. So right there, you're going to have the hilt. Holding this hilt is his hand, his thumb. And his bicep. Now, before I draw the rest of the hand, I want to make sure that you know that the face has to come in this portion of it, and it is like a deep letter U. So right about here is where I would put the chin. Now that I've marked it, I'm going to go ahead and finish off making his arm, make sure that that's good to go. So the bicep comes out short, but it's a very prominent muscle that's shown first. And then from here, you also see his robe. Fabric. This is just fabric for his robe right there. Next, you're going to create his face. This side is very close to the blade and it goes up. The other side is so a very deep letter U, like we said. Now, how do you address it? Don't draw from the eyes in this case. You want to see if you match up. So bottom, mouth, those are the placements of the eyes, and the eyes themselves smaller, not as big. And now comes his hair. The center of his hair where it's radiating from is here. And he has a ponytail. And now coming from behind his hair is the rest of his robe. There, going backward is his other arm. And going from his other arm. So front arm, back arm has to be a lot smaller. And this is his sleeve, hair, and in comes his neck. That would be his pose. And you would wrap up. So you would erase off some of this area and you would create, they tend to tie, it's like you could call it a ribbon or whatever, but they tie a rope of some sorts. And I wonder if it has anything to do with ranking, but I've seen it many times before. So that would be your pose. Need you to draw this, and I need you to be confident as you step into the coloring part of it. So what I would do for the coloring part is I'm taking a 50% gray and I'm going to put that into his hair first. And because that is going to become the underlying color as I build up into its shadows. So here we go. The areas are so small in the curves, so many of them, that I'm worried that if I pick up my broad end of my marker, although I can go faster, I'm not sure, not very confident, I guess, that it will not stay well in the lines and all the rest of it. So just like we did in our previous video, where we put an underlying color into the hair first, then we added the next darker and the next darker color. And I try to color it radiating in from the center. So as your strokes of the marker ink dries, you will notice that it leaves behind the direction of stroke. This matters a lot. I can't emphasize this enough. Matters a great deal. Moving on, we are going to take in our skin tones, and so I would like to go for a deeper color. I think this is perfect. So starting from the back, remember markers will leave their color on your hands and you can smudge your work pretty badly. So unless you want to do that, make sure that you're protecting your work as you color through. Please keep pausing your video and check for the next steps, and the next, and the next, and the next. Make sure that you are well in control of the areas that you're coloring into. You want to get yourself I need like a tannish kind of a color, yellow. Going to use this marker to put in an undertone to my kimono. As the colors start surrounding your figure, the whole thing starts to make a lot of sense, because right now it's a lot of lines, I get that, but you would need to make sure that you are getting all of this resolved. Always check your colors on a scratch sheet. Never automatically assume that you like a color, it's the one you want, and that it will be perfectly fine if you used it on your main picture. This is always forgiveness. If you check your markers first before you let them go to the picture, that will help you tremendously. I forgot to apply the gray to the armband. There is a light taking the brown, and we are going to underline the eye, go between the hairs. So I'm putting down everything. coming in with a darker tone to the kimono and adding this over this one to change the color completely. Sometimes you have to just create a color. You don't always get the perfect colors in the boxes, but you can layer over lighter tones and you can have some interesting colors come out. So I like this kimono color. I think it's perfect. And I'm just doing it because I've got a few light tones that I can use and I can blend around and I can get it all to my liking. So that's important to me. If I'm not happy with what I've got, I've been known to just give up and start right from scratch again, and I just don't go on. That's just me, though. I mean, it's everybody has their own thing. Now I'm going to use a 50% gray even on the sword. I leave some areas intentionally gray so that that is like my highlight into. Just watch for a minute so that you know exactly what you want to do. I don't try to follow my my reference picture perfectly. Once I get the gist of what I need to do to create the character, I'm a free-handed. I do not try to get it done exactly. So if you're wondering about whether what the picture is, I won't be using pictures on my YouTubes because a lot of these are characters created by other people. But all our students enjoy learning how to draw a variety of things. So for use of references, we use them so as we can understand what we want to explain to our students and how to help them get to a point where they feel like they're achieved. There's a shadow on his shoulder right here. You want to put that in for sure. There's a shadow on his armlet right here. Make sure you put that one in. Just leave a little bit of gray on the top part. There is a crease here and here and here on his fabric right over there. Then coming back down, there is a crease here. Right there. So these are only creases that are the clothes that we wear. This goes for anybody and everybody. So when you're wearing clothes, there will be folds that happen on your clothes to adjust the movement to the movement of your body, and that's a normal thing. So you have to learn the art of creating these creases so that it looks realistic. Next to the nose here, you would take one of the ribbons and you would get that darker with the black, but not both of them. So the one to the back technically would have a darker tone versus the front. And that is our samurai project for you. If you do try this project, do send us a copy of what you did. We'd love to have it. And if you have any questions or requests, leave it for us down below and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you for watching.